Our parsha begins with the laws of childbirth. Isha ki tazria v'yalda zachar. A woman falls pregnant and gives birth to a son. The Torah then tells us the laws that are related to that. It reminds us of the fact that on the 8th day the son has to be brised. Then it goes on to tell us the laws of when a woman gives birth to a daughter. What's very, very strange, if we go back to the very first parsha of the Torah, Parshat Bereshit, and again in Parshat Noach, when the Torah introduces to us the topic of pru-revu, procreation, which in fact is the very first mitzvah, commandment of the Torah, that every Jewish couple should have at least 2 children, a boy and a girl if possible, there's something very unusual over there. Because the sages explain from the way that the Torah phrases that particular mitzvah, that men are obligated in this mitzvah of procreation, but not women. That means that it's an obligation of a man to see to it that he marries and has children. But a woman does not have such an obligation. She is paturah. She is exempt from the mitzvah of having children. Now, that's very, very strange. Why should that be so? Moreover, of course, in order to have children, you need a woman. You can't have children without a woman. So why would the Torah obligate the man and not the woman in this mitzvah? Something that's very, very unusual. And one of our great rabbis of the pre-war era, Rabbi Meir Simcha of Dvinsk, asked this question in his famous commentary on the Torah, the Meshech Chochmah. Why is it that the man is obligated in the midst of procreation and not the woman? And he mentioned to us a very, very important principle about Jewish philosophy and in fact Jewish law. Derachea darchei noam v'chol netivotea shalom. There's a verse that we say from the writings, Derachea darchei noam. The ways of the Torah are pleasant. V'chol netivotea shalom. And all of its pathways are peace. The ways of the Torah have to be pleasant. They can't require us to do something that is unpleasant or harmful. And no mitzvah of the Torah will require us to do something that would put us in a case of jeopardy or pain or suffering. And he uses a very interesting example. When the Torah speaks about the mitzvah of the 4 species that we have on Sukkot, the lulav and the etrog, well, the description of those 4 species is somewhat vague. We're not really sure what type of plants it's speaking about. One of them is kapot tamarim, which means the branches of the date palm. Well, if you've looked at the branch of a date palm, it's quite long, and depending on how far along it is in its growth, a date palm, the branches of the date palm can actually have thorns on them. If you've ever tried to cut them down, as we sometimes do for schach, to cover our sukkot, well, you can really harm your fingers. You can poke yourself terribly. They're like thorns, they're like needles, and sometimes you can even poison yourself. So the Talmud discusses, what did it really mean? What did the Torah mean when it said that together with the other 3 species, you have to have kapot tamarim, palm branches? Well, at what stage in its growth? And the Talmud says it cannot mean the stage in the growth where already the palms have gone out and that they have all of these little needles and sharp points. Because in that case, it would hurt your hands. The Torah cannot mean that that is the mitzvah of lulav and etrog. Why not? Because, and the Talmud says, Derachea darchei noam, because the ways of the Torah are ways of pleasantness. And the Torah wouldn't expect you to do this mitzvah if you're going to be hurt in the process. So therefore, this principle even comes to define for us areas of Jewish law. Now, Rav Meir Simcha of Dvinsk says, let's go back to the question of why women are exempt. How could Hashem say to women, you must have children? Having a child is perilous. It's a very dangerous thing. When women are pregnant, their bodies go through a whole change. It can be very uncomfortable. They can hurt themselves. They can be stretched. And then it comes to actually giving birth. Giving birth is an act of danger. In the Talmud, in Jewish law, if a woman is about to give birth on Shabbat, you break Shabbat for her. Her life is considered to be in danger. And immediately you can break Shabbat and assist her with the birth. And unfortunately, today, even in our modern world, specifically in third world countries, there are many, many women who die in childbirth. It's incredibly dangerous. How could Hashem say to a human being, do this and put yourself into danger? He certainly couldn't do that. Because of the principle of Derachea darchei noam. All of the ways of the Torah are ways of pleasantness. And therefore he didn't obligate women. He only obligated men. You have to get married and you have to have children. But I cannot obligate a woman. Well, what did he do instead? So Rav Meir Simcha says that he put within women a natural desire to have children. It's a natural desire. It's not a commandment, it's a natural desire. And that will push her in the direction of having children. But to actually obligate her to do so, that we cannot do. So we see from the answer that Rav Meir Simcha gives the incredible sensitivity and the care that the Torah has. The Torah doesn't want us to hurt ourselves. On the contrary, we're told, Ushmor nafshecha me'od. In the book of Devarim, we're told to look after ourselves very well. There's an entire section of Jewish law about Shmirat HaNefesh, how you look after yourself. You have to be careful what you do. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Look after yourself. The Torah does not want us to hurt ourselves. It wants us to be as physically healthy as possible. And therefore, as strange as it may seem, it is the male who is obligated in childbirth, but not the female. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.